We're going to talk about sentence fluency, which is also sometimes called syntax, voice, and word choice. The first thing we're going to talk about is sentence fluency or syntax. So when you think of sentence structure and sentence fluency, think of Yoda. So Yoda does not have the greatest sentence construction. Okay, look at the next two paragraphs and think about which is more appealing. The first one, Juanita went to the store. She bought kumquats and melons. She took her purchases home. She placed them on the counter. Her toucan flew out of his cage. It landed upon the melon. It started pecking at the kumquat. It made a loud squawk at the funny taste. It then flew into the living room before Juanita could scold it. She figured the taste was enough punishment. The second one, after purchasing kumquats and melons at the store, Juanita took them home and placed them on the counter. Her toucan flew from its cage, landed on the melon, and proceeded to peck at the kumquat. Before she could scold it, it gave a loud squawk and flew into the living room. The unusual taste, she figured, was punishment enough. If you're like most people, you had a difficult time reading number 1. If you go back and read it, you will see that it is completely made of subject, verb, complete thought construction. Boring. The second makes use of many sentence combining devices. We're going to read through the following suggestions of how to improve your sentences. So the first is be cautious of be verbs. Be verbs are am, are, was, were, is, being, have been, and being. Some people call them taboo words and try to get students to avoid them in everything they write. But don't give up on your be verbs. Know when you want to use them and use them. Take a look at your be verbs in your essay. If you use a lot of them, you may be too wordy. You may also be loading your sentences with nouns, often in prepositional phrases too. But then you may need those be verbs to say what you need to say. So don't not use them, but be cautious of them. Think about, do be verbs replace stronger verbs? If you can change it to a stronger verb, then replace it. So for example, Melissa's the type who thinks she's always right, or Melissa thinks she's right. His facial expression was an indication that he was wrong, or his face convinces us that he was wrong. So if it replaces a stronger verb, then replace the be verb with a stronger verb. Also think about, do be verbs delay your point? Make sure you're using active, not passive verbs whenever possible. So instead of, it was true that she was a late bloomer, you can just say she was a late bloomer. Or there was occasionally a hamster in the basement, you can just say a hamster was occasionally in the basement. Okay, so let's look at some ways to combine sentences. So one way is ing phrases, present participle phrases. For example, a man counted his change. The man smiled at the clerk. The man, carefully counting his change, smiled at the clerk. Next is ed phrases, past participle phrases. Instead of saying the woman decided to celebrate the results, the woman was pleased, you can say pleased with the results, the woman decided to celebrate. Another way is to use prepositional phrases. So instead of saying we go over the river, we go through the woods, you can say over the river and through the woods we go. Next is renaming phrases using appositives. So instead of saying my car is small, my car is rusted, my car is a pile of junk, you can just say my car, a rusted pile of junk, is small. Next is using who and that clauses. Instead of saying people live in glass houses, people should not throw stones, you can say people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. Next is who and which clauses. Mother is looking forward to Thanksgiving. Mother can turn a tasty turkey meal. Should be, mother who cooks a tasty turkey meal is looking forward to Thanksgiving. Next is ing substitution clauses. Instead of saying, if you talk out loud to yourself, people will wonder about you, you can say, talking loud to nobody makes people wonder about you. Next is that substitution clauses. Instead of saying, he passed the course with an A, I was not surprised that he passed the course, you can say, his passing the course with an A did not surprise me. Okay, practice combining each side of the following sentences into one sentence. Be sure to try to keep the meaning of the sentence true to the implied meaning. Remember, you can use ing or ed phrases, pronouns, prepositions, who or what clauses, among others. Refer back to any of the above to help you. Notice how differing subordinating conjunctions, such as because and if, and coordinating conjunctions, such as and but, can alter the meaning of sentences, so you want to make sure you don't change the meaning of sentences. Okay, so these are your first set of sentences, so combine these sentences, and you can pause the video as we go through if necessary. Okay, so we're going to go through what the 6+1 writing tricks has as far as syntax and how you'll be graded on syntax. So overall, the writing has an easy flow, rhythm, and cadence. Sentences are well built with strong and varied structure that invites expressive oral reading. So your sentences are constructed in a way that underscores and enhances the meaning. Your sentences vary in length as well as structure. Fragments of use add style. Dialogue of presence sounds natural. Purposeful and varied sentence beginnings add variety and energy. The use of creative and appropriate connectives between sentences and thoughts show how each relates to and builds upon the one before. The writing has cadence. The writer has thought about the sound of the words as well as the meaning. The first time you read it aloud is a breeze. Okay, so go through your essay and choose one of your body paragraphs and look at what are the first 5 words of each sentence, how many words are in each sentence, and what is the verb in each sentence. And just make sure that they vary. Okay, next we're going to talk about voice. As far as the 6+1 writing traits for voice, it says the writer speaks directly to the reader in a way that is individual, compelling, and engaging. The writer crafts the writing with an awareness and respect for the audience and the purpose of the writing. The writer connects strongly with the audience through intriguing focus of the topic, selection of relevant details, and the use of natural, engaging language. The purpose of the writing is accurately reflected in the writer's choice of individual and compelling content and the arrangement of ideas. The writer takes a risk by the inclusion of personal details that reveal the person behind the words. Expository or persuasive writing reflects a strong commitment to the topic by the careful selection of ideas that show why the reader needs to know this. Narrative writing is personal and engaging. It makes you think about the author's ideas or point of view. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about word choice. So as far as the 6+1 writing traits are concerned, your words convey the intended message in a precise, interesting, and natural way. Your words are powerful and engaging. Your words should be specific and accurate. It is easy to understand just what the writer means. Use striking words and phrases that often catch the reader's eye and linger in the reader's mind. Language and phrasing are natural, effective, and appropriate for the audience. Lively verbs add energy, while specific nouns and modifiers add depth. Your choices in language enhance the meaning and clarify understanding. Precision is obvious. The writer is taking care to put just the right word or phrase in just the right spot. So diction is choice of words. So think about, is your word monosyllabic or polysyllabic? Is it slang, informal, formal, or old-fashioned? So mainly denotative or connotative? Is it concrete or idea? Is it pleasant or harsh sounding? Words also express the tone. So tone is a manner of expression shown through the audience's attitude towards characters, events, or situations. Okay, so next thing to do is go onto YouTube, find this video, Captain English, episode denotation and connotation, and watch that. Then find this video, vocabulary with Eminem. So you're going to look for rhyme time with Eminem on YouTube and watch that. Okay, then go on to YouTube and find this video. It's a clip from a very popular movie. And the clip is called The Purpose of Language. So find that on YouTube and then come back to this video. Okay, don't forget about your zombie words as well. So zombie words eat your brain. So check your list of zombie words and make sure you're not using them in your writing as well.